Good evening, Council. I'd like to welcome everybody to the Tuesday, January 24th regular meeting of Council. And with that, I'll call it to order. First item on the agenda is 2.1, adoption of this evening's agenda. Councillor Blanchette, Councillor Mulyk. Is there any errors or omissions? How about some additions or deletions, amendments, things like that? Hearing none, all in favor? It's carried. 3.1, adoption of the minutes of the January 10th, 2023 regular meeting of Council be adopted. Moved by Councillor Pearson, second by Councillor MacLean. Are there any errors or omissions arising? Hearing none, all in favor? It's carried. We have some unfinished business under 5.1, previously from a notice of motion. Thank you, Councillor Blanchette. This is for electronic attendance to in-camera council meetings and an update from staff with a recommendation that staff be directed to draft a policy with respect to electronic meetings to supplement Section 10 of the Village of Valemount Council Procedure Bylaw 834-2020 as amended. Moved by Councillor Blanchette, seconded by Councillor Pearson. Discussion. Anything from the mover, Councillor?
I was just looking to see if I had made a note, but I appreciate you guys going through all of this work. I read through it. We'll just have to pick what's going to be appropriate for us and what's going to work for us. So.
And I like that because having it as a policy that aligns with a bylaw means we can change it in one meeting versus 4 readings, and if it makes reference to the bylaw, it should stand.
And especially since it's going to be something different and new, we might have to tweak it, so.
Yeah, you bet. Further discussion? All in favor? It's carried. Couple items under correspondence for action. First one, 6.1, disaster risk reduction grant, partnering with the Regional District Fraser Fort George, and a recommendation that Village of Valemount supports the Regional District Fraser Fort George applying for, receiving, and managing grant funding on our behalf through the Union of BC Municipalities Disaster Risk Reduction Climate Adaptation Program. Moved by Councillor Blanchette, second by Councillor MacLean. Discussion? Councillor Blanchette?
This is a really good warranted partnership.
Agreed.
Yeah, this will be good.
Further discussion? All in favor? It's carried. And 6.2, have a couple of things to consider for the Winter Festival with requests to council. First off, we have a recommendation that council approves the proposed activities to take place on village property, subject to all participating vendors obtaining the necessary liability insurance and naming the Village of Valemount as additionally insured. Moved by Councillor MacLean, seconded by Councillor Mulyk. Thank you. Discussion? Gonna have a winter festival again. It's kind of nice. All in favor? It's carried. And 2, council approves the request to have Public Works assist in event preparation subject to the Winter Festival organizers coordinating with the Superintendent of Public Works to confirm dates, times, and availability of Public Works staff. Moved by Councillor Blanchette, seconded by Councillor Pearson. Discussion? Councillor Blanchette?
I just want, as great as this festival is going to be, and I know it will be, the organizer is fantastic. She's a really hard worker. I just want to remind everyone that when they do come to council with a request and they're asking Public Works for stuff, that's above and beyond their normal duties. So I just want everybody to remember that they do have their work to do first, and then they can assist where and as needed, if possible.
By confirming dates, times, and availability.
Yeah,
yep.
But just, just remember.
Absolutely. Yeah. Further discussion? All in favor? It's carried. Is there anything in the reading file council would like to bring to surface? Councillor Blanchette?
The dinner honoring past SIMP Chief Shelley Lauren. I'm not able to attend as it's a work day, but if you could pass along my congratulations and huge thank yous, that would be great.
Certainly. Councillor Pearson, you were on the slate for the previous date. Are you available on the 24th? Would you be?
That's correct, Your Worship. I am available, yeah.
Okay. So we have, and Councillor Mulyk, are you, would you be able to celebrate with us?
I'm hoping to attend. I just have to confirm a couple of dates, a couple other items first, but I will hopefully know that within a day or two.
Okay, why don't we, just because we're in a council meeting, we'll put you on the plate. And
Yes, please.
if you need to decline, we can.
Absolutely, thank you.
Okay. Councillor MacLean?
As well, I need to confirm.
Excellent,
Yeah.
okay. And myself as well. I will hold the date. Moved by Councillor Pearson, seconded by Councillor MacLean, that RSVPing on behalf of council would be Councillor Pearson, Councillor Mulyk, Councillor MacLean, Mayor Torgerson, and CAO Depenau, that we attend the celebration in recognition and appreciation of former Chief Shelley Loring. Discussion. All in favor? It's carried. You do see the dates before you for the Local Government Leadership Academy for elected officials in March. Please note those dates and get availability into administration. Is there anything else on folks would like to raise? Hearing none, on to administrative reports. We do have an update and recommendation from our Clean Air Task Force. First recommendation, that a letter regarding village bylaw and adverse health effects related to idling vehicles be sent to Trans Mountain for distribution to their employees, and I'll add to it, general contractors and subcontractors. Moved by Councillor Blanchette, seconded by Councillor MacLean. Discussion. Councillor Blanchette.
It's just getting to be a bit much. We're at 0 and people are leaving their vehicles running for 20, 30 minutes, running into the grocery store, into the post office, into the wherever, or just letting their vehicle run. And we're breathing that in, you know.
We will send a reminder.
Perfect, thank you.
If there's no further discussion, all in favor? We are sending a reminder. It's carried. And that council approves the request to have Public Works assist in, oh, no, wrong piece of paper. Let's have Public Works assist with the idling bylaw. No. Let's go with funding received from the Ministry of Environment in the amount of $5,000 be allocated to the development of a webpage dedicated solely to clean air education and initiatives. Moved by Councillor MacLean, seconded by Councillor Blanchette. Discussion. Councillor Blanchette.
We had a really fabulous meeting, a lot of discussion, which always garners some really good things coming out of it. We talked a lot about what we want to see on this website, how we want it to look, how we want it to be easy, straightforward, how we're going to have a lot of good information on there. One of our visions and goals is goal number 1, and it's the community of Valemount is well informed, engaged, and empowered to improve and protect local air quality. So that's a huge what's going to happen there. So we're quite excited about it. And it's nice to have money that we can spend. We've got really great people on the committee that just give us 150%. And so this is going to be really good. So more to follow.
Excellent.
Yeah.
On funding, I'm wondering, in your next Clean Air Task Force meeting, not sure what the schedules are, you monthly? Quarterly? Ad hoc? Quarterly? Okay. I will keep my comments.
Okay, so you can send an email.
Sure. Any further discussion? All in favor? It's carried. 8.2, we're looking at a road dedication for village-owned property on Ash Street with a recommendation that staff be directed to proceed with the dedication of a road on property legally described as parcel D, R22478 of the south half of the northeast quarter of District Lot 7355, Caribou District, except part subdivided by Plan BCP 12/23 as outlined in this report. Councillor MacLean.
I need to recuse myself as I am chair of the Senior Citizens Society.
Absolutely, thank you. And Councillor Mulyk.
He froze just in time.
Well, we should probably wait until he unfreezes.
I would, so I'm vice chair of your citizens.
Then Councillor Mulyk, thank you very much for your forwarding your...
Are you, can we now?
Yeah, we can hear you now. I picked out that you'd like to recuse yourself. I would recommend that you remove yourself, mute your mic, and turn off your camera if you can. Huh. Well, he's not going to give us any sort of visual cues.
Yeah, that's fine.
And Councillor Pearson, you can hear us all right? We still have quorum?
Yep, we are good.
Thank you. And as outlined in the previously read recommendation, how does council move? Move Councillor Blanchette, seconded by Councillor Pearson. Questions? We do have our planner here.
It's exciting.
Yeah.
Looking forward.
Councillor Pearson.
Yeah, just quick question on, I guess what the future use of that stretch where the piece of property in question is, what the future use of that will be. It kind of makes for an awkward access into that back corner for the community garden and such.
Do you want me to take a stab at that?
I'm just not sure I understand the question.
I think what he's saying when we're taking a road dedication away and turning it 90 degrees as such, so now it's north and south, is that correct, Councillor Pearson?
Yeah, and what's the final outcome of that strip, per se?
So.
To the mic, can you go to the mic, please? Will have Miss Eddy respond to that?
So by changing the orientation, it does align better with the future master plan for the property. The current uses on the property are unknown. There's a lot of what we would like to see, future housing, different commercial uses. It's kind of unknown, but it does align with the master plan that we had developed with the OCP for just a future vision of the property.
Does that answer your question, Councillor?
Yeah, I guess my comment would be that, I mean, because the current infrastructure runs underneath that piece of previous road, that nothing really can be built on that or...
So the existing, the road that's currently there will now have the future infrastructure for the seniors housing development, as well as a future walking trail that will be developed in there that'll be to a paved standard, kind of like the Bigfoot Trail, that'll service the whole property.
Oh, okay, very good, thank you.
Thank you, Miss Eddy. Councillor Blanchette.
So right at the moment, though, we're still going to be able to access the community gardens. That will still be accessible.
Yes, so it'll be still accessible the same way it is now.
Okay.
It's currently just kind of a roughed-in trail. It might even be a little flatter once they develop the infrastructure, and there's a right-of-way there to service the area for now. And then in the future, once the road's developed, they'll have better access.
Perfect. Okay, good. Thank you.
Thank you. Further discussion? All in favor? It's carried. Can we have the recused back, please? And if someone can send a note, Pete, can you send a note over chat or text to Councillor Mulyk?
Yeah, I'm on it.
Thank you. The east-west dedication has been switched to north-south.
Oh,
Access from 13th.
oh, okay. Thank you.
There it is.
For your information, Councillor Mulyk, the road dedication has passed, so there'll be road access north-south from 13th rather than from Ash Street.
Thank you.
Thank you. 8.3, Columbia Basin Trust, Basin Charge-Up Program. Couple of recommendations here. The staff be directed to apply to Columbia Basin Trust, the trust, Basin Charge-Up Program for the maximum amount of $75,000 to purchase an electric EV or plug-in hybrid vehicle and associated costs. Moved by Councillor Mulyk, Councillor MacLean, seconded by Councillor Mulyk. Discussion?
Sounds very good, doesn't it?
Well, we'll give this EV thing again another try.
Yeah.
Further discussion? All in favor? It's carried. And that staff be directed to allocate the remaining funds from the Local Government Climate Action Program, LG CAP, up to the maximum amount of $25,000 to purchase an electric EV or plug-in hybrid vehicle. Moved by Councillor Blanchette, seconded by Councillor Pearson. Discussion? Councillor Blanchette?
Shipping, is that incorporated within the associated costs? Okay. Okay.
So shipping is, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Further discussion, questions? All in favor? It's carried. 8.4, adoption of the Housing Needs Assessment Report. The recommendation that council adopts the Housing Needs Assessment Report as presented by consulting firm Spirited Exchanges. Thank you very much. On May 24th, 2022. Moved by Councillor Mulyk, seconded by Councillor Pearson. Discussion? Councillor Blanchette?
Thank you for the report, Ms. Narian and Vicente. I think we went over this before. It's been really well deep dived into, and it's something that we can refer to quite often, so thank you for that.
Absolutely. Any further discussion? All in favor? It's carried. Under section 9, 9.1, policy 89, municipal donations. Looking for a recommendation or a mover and a seconder that policy 89 for municipal donations be approved. Moved by Councillor Blanchette, seconded by Councillor Mulyk. Discussion? Councillor Blanchette?
I'm just wondering, do we have to have the event budget on the back of this? Because previously, when we've done the donation stuff before, we haven't had this much, you know, the person didn't have to have this much information. And we're trying to make this quick and easier for people, but all of a sudden now we're asking for an event budget and how much and projected expenses.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So-
projected expenses, when you come looking for a donation from any organization, I think they would like to see where your revenues might lie, where your expenses might lie, especially when you're using a piece of infrastructure that has particularly has attachments to economic development. I don't think that's super out of the question.
But is this replacing the up to $10,000 that we do? So we only have a limited amount anyways. I don't remember having this much information doing it the old way that we did it.
We didn't.
Okay.
You recall correctly.
Okay, finally, something I remembered. Okay, so we're trying to make it easier for people to get, what is a minimum amount really for a community to give away? Up to $10,000 to different groups,
Well, let's use the community hall, for example.
okay?
Instead of waiving fees, which goes against bylaws, so the
Yeah.
fees and charges bylaw, so we'd be stomping ourselves in the foot by waiving fees. This is a municipal donation in the form of, say, $450. So long as you, I'm guessing, have janitorial covered and all that other good stuff. This is a donation from this corporation to your user group or to whoever's user group for the equivalent of $450, for example.
On the old form, did they have to fill out all of this information? Is that just something, maybe they did and we don't see that because we don't have to deal with that, but did they have to fill this out?
I'll refer that question
Okay.
to our wonderful Director of Finance.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I don't have that policy in front of me, so I don't know what the attachment was on that. I'm not sure if it was part of the agenda.
Okay, just because council sees different things than staff, obviously. You
Yeah.
guys are the ones that have to do it. But we're trying to streamline this, we're trying to make it easier. This doesn't seem easier to me.
The budget and expenses are very minimal, one-liner, and I would recommend doing that if you're distributing public funds
Okay.
for accountability.
Yeah, and I get that part. I mean, there's quite a few questions here that, we're asking and stuff. But I mean, like, if we're giving out $320 to the gymnastics group, I just have a problem when we say we're trying to make something easier, and all of a sudden, little groups like the gymnastic club or the skating group or the Cubs or guides or something are having to fill out, 3 pages of forms.
I think it's only a page.
It's 1, 2, 3 pages.
Oh,
So that's just my 5 cents worth,
thank you for that. Councillor Pearson, you had some discussion points?
Yeah, thank you. And this was what was raised the first time, is that we were making the process a little more difficult for some of the groups. I agree with needing the basic information of revenue and expense. For the smaller groups, if it's a small event, it's going to be pretty straightforward. 0 revenue, 0 expense, and they're looking for the donation of the use of the hall per se. So I know this was our aim, was to streamline this and get it down from the 3-page document that we still are looking at, but I think some basic information is necessary, as Director of Finance McNee said, just crossing our T's and dotting our I's.
Thank you. Further discussion?
Councillor Mulyk did have his hand up.
Councillor Mulyk, did I miss your hand up?
Well, I was gonna say, I agree with Councillor Pearson. There are certain things that you need to track, I guess, just for accountability. And I know you're trying to make it simpler, but realistically, that is pretty simple still.
Thank you. Any further discussion? All in favor? It's carried. With that, we do have a couple of things to repeal. So, under 9.2, policy number 5 for municipal grants, we're looking to repeal that policy. Councillor MacLean, second by Councillor Mulyk. Discussion on repeal. All in favor? It's carried. And 9.3, policy number 37, village contributions to individuals or group, looking to repeal that one. Moved by Councillor MacLean, second by Councillor Pearson. Discussion on policy 37 and being repealed. All in favor? It's carried. 9.4, Freedom of Information Bylaw number 868, 2022, looking to adopt that as presented. Councillor Blanchette, second by Councillor Mulyk. Discussion on final adoption. All in favor? It's carried. 9.5, Fees and Charges Bylaw, 869, 2023. There's a couple of resolutions to consider. First one, third reading of Fees and Charges Bylaw number 869, 2023 be rescinded. Moved by Councillor Blanchette, second by Councillor Pearson. Discussion. All in favor?
Little changes.
Some housekeeping. All in favor? It's carried. Number 2, Schedule A of Fees and Charges Bylaw number 869, 2023 be amended to remove the fees for home occupation, rural business license, and visitor information consignment fee. Moved by Councillor Blanchette, second by Councillor Mulyk. Discussion? All in favor? It's carried. And number 3, that fees and charges bylaw number 869, 2023 now be given third reading as amended. Councillor Blanchette, moved by, second by Councillor MacLean. Discussion? All in favor? It's carried. 9.6, council remuneration bylaw number 870, 2023, that it be given first, second, and third reading. Moved by Councillor Blanchette, second by Councillor Pearson. Discussion? Some housekeeping there as well. Nobody's getting a raise. All in favor? It's carried. 9.7, looking for a road closure bylaw number 872, 2023, that it be given first, second readings. Moved by Councillor MacLean, second by Councillor Blanchette. Discussion on first and second. All in favor? It's carried. I didn't see any new business come arising. Does anybody have a notice of motion they would like to bring forward? Councillor Blanchette, do you have a third one?
No, I had reached out and citizens want to just complain but not put anything in writing, so I have nothing to bring forward at this time.
Good. So you're motioned out?
I motioned out, I guess, yeah.
For now. There'll be more.
Yeah, wait for it.
Hearing none, moving on to council reports. 12.1, we'll hit the virtual folks. Councillor Pearson.
Okay. January 12th, sat in on the Trans Mountain Care presentation, a community awareness emergency response safety briefing held in Chambers. It was very informative, a great discussion, gave good background on the system and their emergency responses and how that works as far as partnerships with both the village and regional district EOCs. It was a very good presentation. Friday, January 20th, I had Trans-Canada Yellowhead Highway Association virtual meeting, taking care of regular business and some strategic planning on how to move forward with the association. This morning, January 24th, I had Operation Lifesaver virtual meeting, just general discussion of the operations. And then immediately following that, sat in on my first meeting with the Southeast BC Regional Connectivity Committee and basically sat and listened on that one.
Great, thank you. Councillor Mulyk.
Okay, I attended my first virtual, my first NDIT RC meeting, and boy, that I'll tell you, that was a real eye opener for me. I'm really looking forward to attending the meetings. There's a lot going on with the trust. That was on the 16th, and on the 17th, I attended virtually again my first Tourism Valemount meeting. And I really look forward to that one too. They've got a lot of great ideas. Yeah, really looking forward to participating in that.
Thank you. Back in the room, Councillor MacLean.
I only attended one meeting, and that was on January 20th. It was a CBRAC meeting. And it was largely presentations on BC Hydro's efforts to explore dredging Groman Narrows and an overview of non-power use agreements. But it was interesting to learn about the non-power use agreements and to hear the forecasts for a dry summer in all of the basin.
So they're still dredging Groman Narrows?
Yeah,
Or are they?
They were talking about their past efforts to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Not cheap.
No.
Councillor Blanchette.
January 17th, I had the Clean Air Task Force, which I've already discussed.
Excellent.
Yeah.
January 11th, had a Southeast BC Regional Connectivity Committee update on the Connecting Communities BC funding model. As discussed before with the Universal Broadband Fund, BC now has a pot of money committed to their MOU in partnership with the federal government. It is now called the Connecting Communities BC Fund. On that, they are still following the ISED mapping. So a lot of the more densely populated areas of rural BC will still not be served by this program, and so the cost per home is going to be quite high. Quite high that we'd probably be looking at other options other than fiber to the home. Unfortunately. Just means like downtown Valemount will not have fiber before Cedarside does. So that's it. Just there's a disconnect there, and we'll hopefully having meetings with the province soon on that. A couple of things on the 17th in the morning, had a Columbia Basin Trust Investments Committee meeting, and then a Resort Municipalities Initiative discussion where with Mayor Crompton out of Whistler and CAO Willsgard out of Golden, kind of get some traction again for that program. Looking to meet with MLA Brittany Anderson, who is also now the Parliamentary Secretary of Tourism. And so we do have a Ministry of Tourism, Arts, Culture, and Sport, but MLA Anderson has taken the realm of just strictly tourism in her portfolio. And then later that day, I had a Northern Medical Programs Trust Board meeting. Special resolution was brought forward, and the 4-year expiry for directors is no longer a thing. So if there's talent and the rest of the board wants you there, away you go. Really excited to take part in the first of 3 learning sessions on January the 18th with the Federation of Canadian Municipality Men's Allyship Training. Had a really good group in the first session looking at discrimination, violence, and just equality, and how there's a changing perception on what that may look like in the political realm. And then later had a update meeting with the proponents with the Valemount Glacier Destinations Resort. On the 19th, I had a really good conversation with former Councillor Nordley to wish her a happy 88th birthday. Unfortunately, we did have an incident in the backcountry around Oasis, which is north of Allen Creek and outside the management area of the Valemount Area Recreation Development Association, but we did have an avalanche. Unfortunately, one person did not make it out of there, and so with that comes interviews with multiple media. And then today, as Councillor Pearson alluded to, I should also add to that our collective thoughts are with the friends and family of the deceased, and much thanks and gratitude to first responders. And then, as Councillor Pearson alluded to, we had a Southeast BC connectivity meeting today. That's my report. Motion to receive. Moved by Councillor MacLean, seconded by Councillor Pearson. Is there any discussion, questions around the reports as received? All in favor? It's carried. Under 14.1, we do have an opportunity for public comments on items considered by council as part of the approved agenda. Are there any public comments this evening? Second call? Third call? Thank you very much. And then I'll be looking to council for a notice to proceed to an in-camera meeting for consideration of one item per section 91A of the Community Charter to discuss matters related to A, personal information about an identifiable individual who holds or is being considered for a position as an officer, employee, or agent of the municipality or another position appointed by the municipality. Moved by Councillor Blanchette, second by Councillor MacLean. All in favor? It's carried.